The bells of St. Andrew's Chapel echoed across the town, their sound mingling with the autumn breeze. Guests dressed in their finest gathered under the golden archways, waiting for the bride and groom to arrive. The day seemed perfect: clear skies, radiant sunlight, and flowers that painted the courtyard with colors of joy. Yet, beneath the polished surface of beauty and celebration, a storm was quietly forming, one that would test love, forgiveness, and courage like never before. The beginning of their story, Daniel Morgan had always been the kind of man who believed in second chances. A software engineer by profession.com in demeanor but fiery in conviction. He had grown up with a father who taught him resilience and a mother who taught him compassion. He carried those values in everything he did. Amelia Hart was his opposite in many ways. She was bold, adventurous, and never afraid to chase after what she wanted. An event planner by trade, she thrived in chaos and often laughed in the face of challenges. Together, they were a union of stability and spontaneity, balance and thrill. They had met 3 years before at a charity fundraiser. Amelia was organizing the event, and Daniel was a sponsor. Amid the noise of clinking glasses and rehearsed conversations, they found in each other a rare kind of authenticity. By the end of that night, Daniel had asked her out. By the end of 3 years, he had asked her to be his wife. Everything was perfect, or at least it seemed that way. The confession, before the wedding, the morning of the wedding, had been a blur of silk dresses, vows rehearsed, and nervous laughter. Amelia had spent hours with her bridesmaids, her smile masking a weight she carried deep inside. It was a secret she had buried, one she had hoped would never see the light of day. But guilt, as it often does, grew louder the closer the ceremony came. Minutes before she was to walk down the aisle, Amelia asked Daniel for a private word. She found him standing near the altar, adjusting his cufflinks, his best man cracking a joke by his side. She pulled him aside, her hands trembling. "Daniel," she whispered, "I need to tell you something before we do this." He looked at her, puzzled but gentle. "What is it, love?" "You look pale." Her throat tightened. The chapel doors loomed behind her. Guests were waiting. But Amelia's heart pounded with a truth that refused to stay hidden. "I need you to know that before you, I wasn't always honest with myself. I made mistakes." Her eyes watered. "I slept with 2 men. After we started dating, I thought I could bury it, that it didn't matter once we moved forward, but it does. And you deserve to know." The world seemed to freeze. The bells that had been ringing outside faded into silence in Daniel's ears. Every dream he had of this day, the vows, the kiss, the promise of forever, suddenly teetered on the edge of collapse. The confession hit him like a wave, sharp and cold. The moment of decision, Daniel's jaw tightened, but he did not raise his voice. He simply looked at her. His eyes, usually soft with love, flickered with something Amelia had never seen before, hurt mixed with restraint. "You chose to tell me this now." His voice was calm, but the weight of it pressed on her chest. Tears streamed down Amelia's face. "I couldn't marry you without telling you. It would have been a lie, Daniel, and I love you too much to build our life on that." He turned away for a moment, his mind racing. Guests were waiting. Families were seated. The music would begin in minutes. This was supposed to be their day, and yet this was real life. He closed his eyes, exhaling. His father's words echoed in his mind. "Love isn't about perfection, son. It's about choice. Every day you choose the person in front of you, flaws and all. Daniel turned back to Amelia, her makeup streaked, her hands trembling. Amelia, you broke my heart with that confession. But you also gave me the truth, and truth matters more to me than pretending everything is perfect. Her breath caught. So, what does that mean? He reached for her hands. His voice cracked slightly, but his conviction was clear. It means, I'm not walking away. Not today, not ever. You made mistakes, but you came clean. I'd rather marry a woman who tells me the truth, no matter how ugly, than one who hides behind lies. Gasps filled the room the bridesmaids had overheard. The best man stood frozen, and even the priest paused at the altar. But Daniel didn't care. His decision had been made. The ceremony of truth when Amelia finally walked down the aisle. Her tears were real, her smile fragile but genuine. The guests, though unsettled, admired Daniel's strength. Even if they didn't fully understand it, the vows they exchanged that day were unlike any others. Daniel spoke not of perfection, but of endurance. I vow to choose you, Amelia, every day, even when it's hard, even when the truth hurts. Because love is not about what's easy, it's about what's worth it. Amelia, shaking with emotion, said, I vow to never hide from you again, to give you all of me, my past, my flaws, my heart, because you deserve the real me, always. When they kissed, it wasn't the fairy tale ending everyone expected. It was raw, imperfect, and painfully real. And perhaps that made it stronger than any storybook romance. Life after the wedding, their marriage was not easy. Trust had been broken, and rebuilding it was slow. There were nights Daniel lay awake, haunted by the confession. There were days Amelia wondered if he regretted staying, but they chose each other again and again. Counseling helped. Conversations helped more. Over time, their bond grew not from the absence of pain, but from the courage to face it. 2 years later, they welcomed a daughter, Grace, into their lives. Holding her, Daniel realized that his choice on that wedding day had not been about ignoring betrayal. It had been about planting roots in soil that was rocky, but fertile enough to grow something real. Reflection at their 10th anniversary. Surrounded by friends and family, Daniel gave a toast. 10 years ago, I learned that love isn't fragile glass that shatters at the first crack. It's more like gold-scarred, melted, reshaped, but stronger for having endured fire. Amelia and I, we aren't perfect, but we're honest. And that's why we've made it this far. Amelia, tears in her eyes, squeezed his hand. She had once feared losing him with the truth. Instead, she had found a love deeper than forgiveness. She had found acceptance, closing words. So, moments before the wedding, when the truth threatened to tear them apart, Daniel did not back down. He chose to stay, not because it was easy, but because it was right for him. And in that choice, they discovered that love isn't about flawless beginnings, it's about the strength to keep choosing each other, no matter the storm.